Okay, hello, and welcome to another episode on hand-to-hand combat on BitChute. I want to welcome you to the channel. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy today's content. Today's title is Satan's 10 Commandments, an Introduction to the Georgia Guidestones. Again, I want to thank you and welcome you to the channel, and let's get right into it. What the heck is this weird Stonehenge-like structure in rural Georgia, and why do the messages inscribed on this stone apparatus seem to me like they are mocking God? Okay, the Georgia Guidestones, aka the American Stonehenge, are a massive granite structure in far eastern Georgia near the South Carolina border. No one knows who paid for the construction of the Georgia Guidestones, nor what exactly is meant by the strange messages engraved on them. Now, again, these videos are designed for you to do your own research. They're food for thought for you to go and do your own research. Try to prove what I'm bringing to be truth. Okay, I'm going to give you some interesting bullet points about the Guidestones. The first one, the Georgia Guidestones are almost twice as tall as Stonehenge. Stonehenge, that's in Wiltshire, England. Nearly 250,000 pounds of granite was used to make the structure. The stones have 10 messages inscribed on them. I'm going to go through these 10 unholy commandments in a minute. Let me go to the next bullet first. These 10 messages or 10 unholy commandments are written in 8 languages, which 4 of them are dead. Those languages are English, Swahili, Russian, Spanish, Sanskrit, Hebrew, Arabic, and Chinese. When you read the 10 unholy commandments, you're going to see this quote-unquote age of reason sprinkled throughout. And as you may recall, Thomas Paine wrote a book called The Age of Reason. And what was Thomas Paine notorious or noted for? Thomas Paine was noted for questioning the legitimacy of the Bible. That's Thomas Paine and his book, The Age of Reason. All right, let's go move on. No one knows who paid for the construction. As the story goes, an elegant, well-spoken, well-dressed, gray-haired man who identified himself as only R.C. Christian appeared at a granite company in nearby Elberton one day requesting a quote on a massive project. As the story goes, the guy at the granite mill or wherever they cut the stones gave this R.C. Christian a ungodly quote, hoping that this lunatic would just balk and keep walking. But it turned out R.C. Christian agreed to the price. Okay? Now, as a side note, R.C. Christian is a play on words related to the Rosicrucians. Rose Cross Christian, a.k.a. Christian Rosencreuz, was the founder of the mystical society of the Rosicrucian order. Many suspect that the Rosicrucians are behind the financing of this massive project. Okay, let's move on to the next bullet. The project's builders had to sign a legal agreement to never reveal the identity of the financiers. They also swore to destroy all legal papers regarding the Guidestones construction once the project was finished. The next interesting bullet pertains to this unholy commandment number 1: maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Okay, the message calling for maintaining humanity under 500 million calls for at least wiping out about 94% of humanity. The next bullet. Yoko Ono called the Guidestones a stirring call to rational freedom. Wow. Apparently the Beatles' widow is okay with wiping out 7 billion humans. Let's keep moving on. The Stones were defaced in 2008, and the spray-painted message was "Death to the New World Order." The Guidestones were designed to withstand catastrophic events. Some claim they are satanic in origin. This includes right-wing pundit Mr. Mark Dice, who claims they are of a deep satanic origin, and that R.C. Christian was a member of a Luciferian secret society with ties to the New World Order. Others have referred to the 10 messages on the stones as the 10 commandments of the Antichrist. Okay, let's keep moving on. This is really strange. Now, a mysterious time capsule is allegedly buried nearby. There's a tablet erected near the Guidestones that claim that a time capsule is buried beneath the tablet, although there is no proof the capsule really exists, and no suggestion of what is written on the capsule. Next bullet. R.C. Christian presented builders with a shoebox containing wooden model of the monument along with 10 pages of extremely detailed specifications. Many of the specifications involved using the Guidestones as an astronomical guide, as explained in the next few bullets. As we continue to look at Satan's 10 Commandments, an introduction to the Georgia Guidestones. Okay, the next one. As we move into, and what this will do, this will connect to last week's podcast, the Christmas star alignment. As we begin to connect these dots, okay? Now let's get back to the Guidestones. The Guidestones were purposely designed to track the sun's east-west migration year-round. Again, this R.C. Christian came in with a wooden shoebox of a model of what they wanted and 10 pages of detailed instruction. During an equinox or solstice, those who stand at the west side of the mail slot carved into the Guidestones can see the sunrise over the horizon. The 4 outer stones are positioned to mark the limits of the 18.6-year lunar declination cycle. An eye-level hole drilled into the center stone permits viewers to locate the North Star. Okay? Last week we watched the podcast Christmas Star Alignment, and we learned that these global elite families, these global politicians, are infatuated with astrology and planetary and star alignments. Okay, let's move on. A small hole drilled through the capstone serves as a sundial. At noon every day, a reading of where the sunbeam hits the center column allows one to pinpoint the exact day of the year. The next bullet. R.C. Christian and his cohorts allowed the landowners full cattle grazing rights, and in a small gesture of generosity, the mysterious backers of the Georgia Guidestones still permitted the owners of the land on which they were built to allow their cattle to graze on it for their entire natural lives. The last bullet, a tablet in front of the monument, declares, quote, "Let these be guidestones to an age of reason." And it's kind of hard to be reasonable when you're talking about wiping out over 90% of the planet's inhabitants. Just a thought. All right. In closing now, there's 3 interesting points that we need to conclude with. The dedication date of the Georgia Guidestones, it's March 22nd, 1980. That's 3 for the 3rd month and 22 for the 22nd day of the 3rd month of the year, 322. An interesting connection can be made to the skull and bones. Another name for the skull and bones is called the order. Another name for the skull and bones is called Order 322, as in March 22nd, 1980, the dedication date of the Georgia Guidestones. A very interesting fact is that in the Bible, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai 40 years before they were able to enter into the Promised Land. Some knucklehead named R.C. Christian, some 40 years before the worst year ever in 2020, went and had these unholy commandments made. God is not mocked. Satan's 10 Commandments and introduction to the Georgia Guidestones is making mockery out of our holy God and the holy 10 Commandments given to Moses. Okay, again, these videos are designed for you to do your own homework. These are designed for food for thought. Please do your own homework. This has been Satan's 10 Commandments, an introduction to the Georgia Guidestones. Quickly before I close, let's read some of these unholy Commandments brought forth by this pseudonym R.C. Christian. The first unholy commandment of the Antichrist: maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely. Unite humanity with a living new language. We had one language in the past. God is not mocked. The fourth unholy commandment of the Antichrist is rule, passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. There's your Age of Reason, Thomas Paine again. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Fair laws and just courts are defined by the World Court of the world government. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Okay. And I'm not going to read any more of this garbage from the unholy one. But the first three are enough. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. That means 94% have got to go. Guide reproduction wisely. We're doing that with vaccinations and abortions. Unite humanity with a living new language after God had already scrambled the languages after the Tower of Babel. And this unholy one wants to bring back a one world language. Thank you for stopping by the channel. This has been a look at Satan's 10 Commandments, an introduction to the Georgia Guidestones. Please do your own research. Please consider subscribing to the channel. And please consider tipping or setting up a monthly donation. Again, thank you for your time. This is your host, Justo, on the Hand to Hand Combat channel. Thank you for watching.